Hey class, let's just jump right into this. How many of you have ever been to Skid Row in Los Angeles? Or maybe downtown San Diego by Petco Park and seen a ton of our homeless community just sprawled out on the sidewalks in tents and makeshift housing? Well, if you've ever been to either one of these, maybe some time ago, you might have seen me out there. And you may be thinking to yourself, how do these people end up like this? Or, what keeps them living like this? Well, like I mentioned, I was one of these people out there on the streets. I was homeless in San Diego for quite some time. I was also addicted to heroin for almost 10 years in the process of that. Fortunately for me, there was a hand reached out and I was able to get some help. I was taken to a facility in Phelan, California. And I'm not sure if any of you know where Phelan is, but it's in the high desert. It's by Apple Valley and Hesperia and Victorville. And the weather is absolutely harsh. The weather is super hot in the summer and super cold in the winter. I detoxed on a couch outside, and there was mice running across my face, up my shirt, down my pants. And I ate beans and rice for every meal 6 days out of the week there. Let me tell you, prison food was better than that food. But at the time, that is what I needed to get clean and sober and stay clean and sober. I was there for 60 days, and as of last month, October of 2021, I just celebrated 8 years of sobriety from drugs and alcohol. So something clicked for me. A lot of these homeless people, nothing clicks for them because they aren't given that help. So today, I would like you to realize that one of these people may be a close relative of yours, a mom, a dad, a close friend, a family friend, a cousin, and we need your help because there's something that you can do about this. Today, I will explain to you the need for no-cost drug and alcohol rehabilitation. I will explain to you how you can help accomplish this. And I will show you how the homeless community and their families can benefit from your decision. I'll start by telling you about the need for no-cost detox and rehabilitation services. The homeless community around the world, and even locally here in Southern California, is struggling with drugs and alcohol, and we need your help. The problem is that there are too few alcohol and drug treatment centers that are aimed for low cost or no cost, and especially for our homeless community. When I mention treatment centers, I'm talking about 60 to 90 days, because these are the time frames where something clicks in our human brains and it shows us that there's a better way to live. 93,000 people died of drug overdoses last year alone in the United States, according to the CDC. That means that by the time I'm done talking to you, there's going to be 2 more deaths added to that number. The reason is there's not enough help for our homeless community, and they're struggling mightily. You can choose to make a stand now and help us save lives. No-cost rehabilitation is very important. In January of 2020, there were 580,466 people experiencing homelessness in Southern California, according to endhomelessness.org. What's sad is that 25 to 40% of those homeless were addicted to drugs and alcohol, according to the voiceofsandiego.org. Most drug rehabs charge a cash price, not insurance and all that, cash price of anywhere from $12,000 to $60,000 for a 60 to 90 day program. How is the homeless community supposed to afford that? I couldn't afford that. They're not going to afford that, and that's why there's no help for them. 2.4 million Americans were addicted to opioids in 2012, according to the CDC. I bet you're wondering, who is this guy and why does he care about any of this? But let me tell you real quick, without going into great detail. I have lived on both sides of the coin. I mentioned I was homeless. I also worked in the field of behavioral health and mental health. I was the director of operations for not only for-profit facilities like we had just talked about, but I was also the director of operations for a nonprofit, so I've seen both sides. There's one common denominator for all of that, and it's the simple fact that we had to turn almost 99% of our clients away because they didn't have the means to pay us. Super unfortunate. I'm sure you can all see that no-cost treatment is vital to the survival of our homeless community, but I'm sure you're wondering how you can help, and I'm going to tell you. This is how we do our part to end the addiction problem in our homeless community. First, you talk to your friends and family and let them know about this epidemic that's happening in our community. The more people that we talk to means the more understanding that we can get from them. Second, call and email our mayor of Riverside County, Patricia Dawson. And if you feel super courageous, by all means, email Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. I want you guys to really pay attention to this line graph right here. You don't really need to pay attention to what's on the bottom and side, but I want you to see this right here and what the trend is. So 80,000 up here, we're at 80,000 up here. What I want you to realize is it's not stopping. It's not staying at 40,000 and it's not stopping at 80. So what that's telling me is it's not going to stop unless we do something about it. This next slide I want you to pay attention to is a fatal dose of fentanyl. And I'm not sure if any of you know what fentanyl is, but it's a synthetic opioid that is killing a ton of people. So 2 milligrams looks like that, and that's a penny next to it. So this stuff's being put in not only heroin, not only methamphetamine, not only barbiturates, but it's also being put in alcohol and all types of other stuff. And unknowingly, it's being ingested, and people are dying like crazy. It's a scary drug. I know some of you are thinking that this will take too much time, or I don't have the time to do this, my life's too busy. Well, that's fine. But what if you have a loved one that dies of a heroin overdose, and you had the opportunity to stop it, but you didn't? As you can see, it's simple to make your voice heard to save lives. But let's now look at what would happen if you decide not to act. Free detox and rehabilitation is super important, and both our homeless community and their families benefit from it. If you take action and contact the mayor of Riverside County and possibly the governor of California, you might be able to save lives like mine. The problem is if you decide not to act, countless people will die, just like me, but they didn't have the opportunity that was given to me. As you can see, I need your help to save a fellow homeless American. I've told you about the need for no-cost detox and residential drug rehabilitation, how you can accomplish this, and how the homeless community and their families will benefit from it. It's time to share a little dose of courage for you. I'll end with a poem written by a 9-year-old girl named Leighton Fanning. Leighton wrote this poem directly to the homeless people in her hometown. And this poem states, "When the world passes by and looks at you with sin, when you lay your head and the cold ground hits your skin, when you feel like there's nothing left and your head's in a spin, when your hope has gone and you've nothing to say, please think of me and what I would say. I promise to lead the way to right the wrongs of the system today." I'm going to repeat that. To right the wrongs of the system today. When you shut down at night and say your prayers, just know that this little girl cares. Please make the decision to do your part of making drug treatment free of charge for our homeless community. If a 9-year-old girl cares, why shouldn't you?